maybe I'll say something, and then if anybody else wants to say after this, they can. Very nice point, Rajeshwari Pran Mataji, that first and foremost, children should have some time to engage in something spiritual activity. And I just want to emphasize one thing which Maharaj said twice repeatedly. Children, as teens, they would like to maintain or grow their Krishna Bhakti only if there's a latent Krishna Bhakti. Um, just a minute. And this latent Krishna Bhakti is the inculcating that is a tough part, or for that to be developed in a child is a tough part, actually. In some sense, they can have it. There are the peripheral activities, which includes, I'm, it's possibly a little controversial when I'm saying it this way. There is the kirtan, there is some reading books, etc. There is some aspect of memorizing shlokas, possibly doing a skit together. True. All that is, those are devotional activities, but they become devotional when the intention is to unravel one's inner spiritual nature with the curiosity of what it is that the spiritual world has to offer to us. I'm talking from a child's perspective. When that is missing, the rest become activities for one's joy, or um, activities for just being happy. So that very same spiritual activity, like chanting, may not be as much as chanting, but kirtan, reciting shlokas, which some of our kids do, take it to the next, that it should be at the level of, I really need to go beyond what is happening in the world around us, which means we have to get our children thinking about life. What's the purpose of life? Why am I here for? And that's one part of it. And the other part of it is where we are mostly the culprits, which is we do spiritual activities either mechanically or just with our bodies moving, but our hearts not being present. And the children just catch it. And they end up doing it the same way. We have certain, just a minute. If we, if in many cases, what happens with our own selves is we are driven by duties which is not appealing to children. We should be driven by a sense of exploration, a sense of excitement, and children catch with it, catch that too. And finally, there is also only so much that parents can do. We need to take them to some other place, some other person who can help them with uh, taking out the spark, that spark should come out. Enough of just doing silly stuff. There is something much more. And this is the tough part which actually happens in a teen, because they have so much to explore in this world, so much that they like. And how can it be so exclusive to something like a self-abnegatory? Self-abnegation means sacrificing one's sense of sensory happiness. One can sacrifice one's sense of sensory happiness and please Krishna, which is very tough at that age. So we need to come to the stage where we say you can have your sense of having happiness by satisfying your senses, but encourage them in direct or, more importantly, indirect ways by which they deepen their distaste for mon- what we call as boring, mundane life, and have more excitement for a vibrant spiritual life. It is that which has to be brought about, and not all children are ready for it. That's the point here. In other words, we have to make sure that when children go through some challenging circumstances, maybe let those challenging circumstances be a means for them to go deeper into spirituality. Not everybody comes with curiosity. Some may need to face some extenuating circumstances or very challenging circumstances, and let that become the means. So there is no one formula for it, but the fundamental principle here is it's a big struggle for anybody in this world to have a deep desire, enough of enjoyment in this so-called enjoyment in this material world. I want to have spiritual enjoyment. That has to be brought in very deep into in children. And I hope we can hear more from Maharaj about it. I haven't heard this lecture. Any other comments from any comments from anyone?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please go ahead, Prabhu.
Yeah. So, Prabhu, what you actually mentioned the desire to go actually deep into the spiritual, not only the happiness that, and you mentioned that's the kids, but actually it is even equally applicable or even more applicable to the parents like us. And I was just thinking that as long as there is no desire to please Krishna or to go into that direction, I get some satisfaction, I do that activity. So that actually defies that definition of pure devotional service given by Rupa Goswami, Anusilanam, for the pleasure of Krishna. So that actually doesn't make a pure devotional service, but just a activity, devotional activity, which would definitely have its purifying impact, but it would not be as pleasing as if it is in mood to please Krishna. So thank you very much for it. Was very nice. So the I was thinking that the what about kids? It is not only the kids, but it is equally applicable to the adults like me as well. So that the intent
All
is
of,
to please Krishna.
all of us, yes. Either Lakshminarayan Prabhu or Kumarika Mataji have you raised your hand, please.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Kumarika Mataji here. So I fully agree with you that even though the parents want to be friends with their teenage children, sometimes the teenagers do not have that much trust in them. They still think that they will freak out. So it is, and they respond. I have seen this. I have done a lot of teenage counseling. Adolescent medicine was one of my favorite things. So sitting in the clinic also, I used to do a lot of teenage counseling. So I used to find out things which they have never spoken to their parents. I don't know the nature of the parents, maybe off-putting. So if there is somebody outside, as you said, that if they are attached to somebody outside, like say you are running the youth classes there in Bangalore. So the children may open up more to a third person than to their own parents sometimes. And they will take advice, even though they may open up and all that, they will take advice from the third person better than their parents. Because the parents are always lecturing, they think their nature is this is only just she starts means she will never end. Do this, do that, don't do this. So that is our nature as parents. So they don't give much value value because they are repetitively being instructed. But when it comes from an outsider, sort of uncle or auntie, then it becomes valuable advice for them. So in that way, I was very fortunate. I had not exactly teenager, but young daughter whom you took under your care and guided her, and by your guidance now she is a devotee. I am so very grateful to you. Ever so obliged to you, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. She became devotee by her own merit. Good girl, very good girl. Yeah. We'll continue to hear, it's 7-8. We'll continue to hear for 2 or 3 more classes. Okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.